Hello and thanks for watching. I just wanted to make a quick video about the 2021 KLX300R. The reason I got this bike was to ride around with my son who has a CRF50. I did have a KLR650 before this, but it was just too heavy and just too big to ride around with him. So I got something a little smaller, a little less power, well, a lot less power, and just to ride with him. So here's my honest review of the bike as it is stock. All I have done to it are handguards and a skid plate, but other than that there are no performance mods to this bike. It is completely stock. So one thing I don't like is kind of the ergonomics of the bike. I'm 6'3", 210 pounds, and the seat height on the bike I think is about 36 to 37 inches high, which is perfect for me. As you can see, my toes barely touch with boots on. I'm perfect. However, the issue is when I put my feet up on the pegs. So when I put my feet up on the pegs and I get in my riding position, you're going to notice that I can't comfortably put my foot flat on the peg. It has to be at an angle, and it's kind of right there at the shifter. My toe is just under it, so it's a real awkward kind of sitting. It's like the seat height's made for someone over 6 foot, but the foot pegs are for someone who's 5'9" to 5'11", I'd say. First gear is useless. As soon as you touch the throttle, your neck snaps back, partially due to the fuel injection. And then by the time your feet are off the ground and on the pegs, it's time to shift into second. It's just a completely useless gear, and it's way too short for any purpose at all. Second gear is perfect. You can just lug around in it. You don't even have to give it gas, and it'll just keep on rolling. That's the main gear I ride with my son is second and third. Once you get over third, you're not really going to notice difference. It's just kind of slow linear power getting up to speed. Moving on to the next thing I don't really particularly like about the bike, however I have not had any issues with it, is the frame. The frame on the bike, it's just tiny, it's thin. It doesn't seem like it's going to hold up to a whole lot. I don't know, that's just my opinion of it. I've had no issues with it yet, but of course comparing it to a KX, it's about half the size, but I know it's not made for motocross, of course, so hopefully that holds up over time. I would just like to see a little bit more of a sturdy frame in there. I don't know if they did that for weight savings, price savings, or what, but I know it's just a entry-level trail bike, so kind of to be expected. Right into the mud, no problems there. It does decent, slides around a little bit, but nothing unmanageable. Going over rocks, it kind of just tractors over the rocks. If you put it in second gear and go nice and slow, you can essentially make it over anything. One of the things I actually like about the bike is how Kawasaki allows customization of the handlebars to help the rider get comfortable. When I first got the bike, it was in the forward or the rear holes there, the one closer to the fuel tank, and they have holes just a little bit past it. As you can see, the bars are in right now, where you can move the bars forward a little bit for taller riders. You can also adjust the angle of them to rotate them a little bit, but I didn't do any of that, but it did make quite a bit of difference. As you can see here, I'm kind of going uphill on a dry dirt, kind of gravelly, rocky terrain. The dirt, it was more of like a sandy, dusty kind of dirt. It got real fine dirt. And the bike, for some reason at higher speeds, the bike would, front tire would start wandering a little bit left or right on me. I'm not sure why that is, if it's something with the front tire, just the angle or what's going on with it, but I did notice that at higher speeds the front tire will wander and you have to either slow down or pull it back or something like that. It's not too concerning for beginner riders. It is something that to look out for because it will scare you the first time, but very manageable other than that. Like I said, the power on this bike, it's perfect for someone who's just starting out or someone who's just wants to ride around slow with their kids or weekend getaways by themselves. It does have enough grunt to get you going and to have fun with, even for an experienced rider. So one thing I wanted to point out is that I am 210 pounds. So this bike is not set up for a 210 pound rider. Now, as you can see here, the rear spring has adjustments on it. You can adjust the preload and all that, but the rear spring is what you need to adjust. I'm glad I made this video a day later because I adjusted the rear spring this morning, rode the bike, and it changed everything. Just loosen the top nut. If you're a heavier rider, tighten the bottom nut. If you're a lighter rider, loosen the bottom nut. But it usually goes about 3 to 4 millimeters of sag per full rotation of the bottom nut. So I had to tighten it quite a bit to get about 100 millimeters of sag on the bike. And then once you're done, just tighten the top nut down to the bottom one, it's good to go. But it was a crazy difference adjusting the sag on the bike. The trail I usually ride, I burned probably about 1/8 of a tank more than I normally do, just because with that adjustment it gave me so much more confidence with the bike, and it completely changed the whole dynamic of the bike. It made it so much more fun and just allowed for me to build more confidence and go faster around some turns that I usually wouldn't, things like that. But to sum it up, overall, the bike, it's a nice bike. It's a beginner bike for sure. The power is not going to be what you're going to get off a motocross 250, but the power is manageable and the power is decent and good enough for what the bike is made to do. I feel as though I still can't tap into the full potential of the bike just because of my skill level, but I'm close to it, and that's one of the ways to balance dirt bikes, of course, is to find a bike that you're not scared of, that you're able to control, and it's just so much more fun than having a big old powerful bike that you're scared of and can barely crack the throttle on it, in my opinion, of course. But overall, the bike does great. It does have its downsides, but nothing that a couple aftermarket parts can't fix. If you're not looking to do any kind of motocross, I'd highly suggest this bike. As you can see here, it got me up to the top of the mountain and gives me these great views, and yeah, it's kind of the jack of all trades of dirt bikes, essentially it's good at all things. It's a master of none, but why be a master of one when you can be good at all, or something like that. I forget how the whole saying goes, something like that. I'd recommend it to the majority of the people who are not looking to do motocross. Thanks for watching.